Hello everyone, I am Catherine Parks and you are watching Culture Coast. Today we have arts enthusiast Elizabeth Van Riper, with whom we'll be talking a little theater, art dealing, painting, and the art of Sarasota living. Culture Coast starts right now. Welcome back to Culture Coast, brought to you by the Arts and Cultural Alliance of Sarasota County. Today we are sitting with our presenting sponsor, Elizabeth Van Riper, who has made art a part of her life in many ways, the least of which, making our little show possible. So we want to say thank you and welcome to Elizabeth.
Well, thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, well, we're so happy to have you. So tell me, I know you have a wide range of art in your past, so tell me about your background.
Well, I'm a fifth-generation artist, and that is all on the women's side of my family. And some of them were fine artists, and some of them were just makers, but I think they're the same thing. It's people that like to create something from nothing,
Yes.
whether it's an idea, an inspiration, or replicating something they've seen. So I grew up making and creating, and that's really where my passion lies, whether it's gardening, cooking, painting, collaging, knitting. I've done it all and enjoy it all. So there are different times in your life for different things.
Right, wonderful. And I know that you actually said that you actually had sort of started going into a direction of theater, and then you worked with Sesame Street when it was just 3 years old. And then you also established art lending for art dealers?
Yes, I worked for Citibank in Manhattan, and it was quite some time ago, and I helped them create a lending program to help facilitate the acquisition of fine art.
Wonderful.
So I've been in that world for a long time. I started out painting when I was very little, and my mother and grandmother were very critical, so I just moved away from that very quickly and went into theater and did performing arts all through school, and moved to New York, decided that I wasn't ready to live in a cold water flat and have all the rejection that it takes, and I so respect that you have followed your path and stayed on target. But I went and worked for Sesame Street when it was a brand new, really, program, and it was very exciting. And from there, I was doing all of the licensing for my boss, and someone said, you know, you really need to be doing work for yourself, not someone else, and suggested that I go to Citibank, and that they were giving out responsibility, and you sank or swam, but if you did well, you could really thrive, and I did that. So I had a lot of business background, finance, started out with large corporate lending and management, and then started a family and ended up, when I came back, in the private bank, where I got involved with the lending with art. But it was very exciting. I would get calls that said, you know, I just got in 5 new Picassos, and the framer's coming over from a dealer and come over and help me pick out the frames. And so it was very exciting, and I loved it, and it really enriched my art appreciation.
I don't doubt it. And then how did you discover Sarasota?
Well, my former husband had spent a great deal of his early life here, and he always had wonderful memories. And so we kept coming down here, and I kept exploring and thinking, this isn't what I thought Florida was, with my only frame of reference being the East Coast. I was really taken with the influence of the Ringling family, the Ringling Museum, and then Ringling College of Art and Design. Now, that was almost 20 years ago, so the Ringling College has morphed significantly, and now has a huge role in our community, which is wonderful. When I came here, it was really just the campus. And so lots has happened since I moved here that relate to creativity and promoting creativity.
You consider yourself an arts advocate, and
Yes.
so tell me, what are some of your goals as an arts advocate?
Well, I think that everybody knows that Sarasota has fabulous natural resources. I mean, we have the, top beaches and beautiful landscape, and it's just fabulous. And all along the coast, that's prevalent. But what isn't prevalent all along the coast is that we have an authentic foundation for creativity being generated here. And it goes back to the 20s with the circus. And when the circus and all that went on with that, and then after World War II, the GI Bill funded a tremendous number of talented young GIs to go to Ringling College. And a lot of them stayed here, and they were avant-garde, and their friends up in New York and Chicago that were horn players and writers heard about it, and they came down. And so it became this melting pot of multiple disciplines in creative thinking and acting out. And so I think that history gives us a place of authenticity that is not prevalent. And it's different in other communities where the talent comes in to perform. Our talent very often lives here.
Right.
So it's your next door neighbor that's Catherine Parks, a performing actress, writer. It is the former executive creative director of the Puerto Rican National Symphony, who now lives here and continues to compose and perform and collaborate locally. It's painters, it's sculptors, it's architects. And so it really is a very unique community for texture of lifestyles and people's experiences.
Well said. And now let's say I'm new to the area, or even if I've been here a long time, what are some ways that I could get involved, and where do I begin?
Well, I think there is a plethora, just such a diverse body of organizations here that I always used to say, if anyone says they're bored here, they're boring. Because there is something for everyone.
Yes.
I have clients that, come down and retired from business, and they loved writing poetry when they were in school. And I found them a poetry writing group that meets monthly at Selby Gardens. And he's now writing and performing and just jumping off to a whole nother life. The symphony has all kinds of educational programs for musicians. Art Center Sarasota is full of classes that are for all levels, exploration. Saturday mornings go for $10 and they're live models. That is just really exciting for people. The architectural community is very, very active here and shares and cross-pollinates with all other disciplines, architectural and landscape architecture. Just creativity here is boundless.
Yes.
You can be a participant and create, or you can be a patron and appreciate. And one can't go without the other. So that's what's very exciting to me. Get a basic membership in any one of the organizations that you find appealing, because you're helping to perpetuate that those organizations can continue to be here and provide the texture that everybody so enjoys.
Absolutely. And now I'm going to throw a curveball at you. Last question. What is something that you like to do that has nothing to do with the arts?
Well, I do love my career.
Okay.
I do. I have to say that initially, as a realtor, it's a 24-hour consciousness career.
Yes.
And in the beginning, it was like, oh my gosh, it's so demanding. And then I realized that it's a lifestyle. And that these people that I work with and help to find their next home, to go through a transition. It's buying your first home, it's buying your next home when your family's expanding or contracting, that it's very intimate and it requires challenges. You have to find a way to relate to people, and I like that stimulation.
Yes.
For myself, and then to be creative in helping people determine how they would live in a house. So it's that's what I love, and I love to entertain. I love to cook.
Yeah.
And on occasion, I just made a commitment to myself, dare I say it on camera, that I'm going to try to do a piece of art every month.
Oh, Oh, wonderful.
Something small.
Oh, good.
But I, in the past several years, have done calendars using my paintings, and everybody would say, "Well, I don't have one this year." I said, "I don't have any more paintings." So I sort of thought, that's great. I have not been creating for a while.
We have some paintings that we can show as well on our Culture Coast show that are up front that are made by you. So we're
good.
I'm sure we're scrolling through them right now.
Oh, great. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, well, thank you for inviting me, and I'm so delighted that you are doing this, and along with the Arts and Cultural Alliance. It's just huge that people understand what's out there, because it's what makes us stand out as a community. And the cultural community supports the human services community, and vice versa. If we don't have the cultural community that brings in rich, interesting people, not rich monetarily, I mean rich of soul,
yes. Yeah.
They then help support the human services needs that we have.
Exactly. Well, I think that's wonderfully said, and it's all a balance and a beautiful network of individuals. So if you want to know more about the art of living in Sarasota, get in touch with Elizabeth by visiting her website, elizabethvanriper.com. And that is it for our show today. So thank you, as always, to Elizabeth for making this possible. And we'd also like to thank Beautiful You for providing my wardrobe and iStage Homes for our amazing set. Our next show will be later this month, and we'll be bringing you more amazing artists from the local scene.